Hello, everybody, and thanks for joining us for this special live session. I'm Itzik Amiel, and we are here with a weekly sweet series, Switch It On, where we share ideas, insight, and inspiration, helping you as a professional to switch relationships to revenue, referrals, and reputation and stand out in a crowded marketplace. And you are invited to join me. So if you're watching it now, please come join us to the room and today we are going to talk about essential tool for building your authority, or specifically about the recipe for creating your authority positioning. How to do it, right? A lot of us asking that, and I want to share that with you today. So please type in the chat box where you are, who you are. Let us know who you are, where you're dialing from, because I would love to share it with our international audience. Again, in the chat box, put who you are, where you're dialing from, so we could share it with everybody else. So if you're joining us out, I'm happy about it, and I thank you in advance for being here. You know, as an introvert myself, majority of my personality is an introvert, and I know a lot of you didn't know I am an introvert. To those of you who did not know, more than extrovert. And the idea of not being a noisy leader has always appealed to me in the sense that I was never a fan of other professionals who seems to be led by ego, only engaged with self-promotion and political games. I escaped it. You see where I am now? I left law firm because I hated it so much. And I see it still in our industry. However, early in my career, my legal career, and especially because I dealt with a lot of international and cross-border matters, I realized that if no one else in the industry actually knows about my work, my accomplishment, and how I can help them, then those accomplishments won't really count so much, right? Because they don't know about me. In other words, the maximum achievement I will ever get to be is the best kept secret of my market. Can you relate to that? Maybe you feel the same now, where you are in your position, where you're living, where you are doing. It was for me, I must admit, was a shocking discovery, but at the same time, an awakening call. Because the matter of the fact, up until that point, I'd always presumed that my legal career, my legal work would speak for itself. I assume that if I work hard, the quality and impact will be obvious to others and they come and they ask for my services. Really? Do you really think this way? Unfortunately, in my legal mentoring practice, I meet many lawyers, accountants, and other professionals that still think this way. Maybe you're one of them. It's a great strategy, but it was just one problem. The online world, the internet brought the big competitors to the professional arena. So, how do you stand out in a crowded marketplace as one of maybe the biggest obstacles lawyers and any other service professionals face nowadays? And you may be one of them. And as I discovered and share it, and I will share with you in this episode, and many other deliveries in my training and my mentoring for thousands around the world, the only the real way and authentic way to escape it is to really elevate yourself and get above the crowd. You got to become the authority, the go-to expert that the market turns to you for your expertise and what they need you. But in order to build the right authority, not just an authority because you cannot be everything for everyone, right? The right authority with authentic ingredients, call it like that. I want in this episode to share with you, my friends, really what is the recipe for creating your authority positioning? What is the order to do the right thing in the right moment in order to build it very fast to accelerate your success, the growth of your practice, on your career? Okay, so before I go deeper to explain, I want to say hi to those people joining me. I see David, Anna, Alex, Ranina, Dorani, Ranmensh. I hope I pronounced your name right. I see also Angergo, Soledinan, Mantina, David, Zoe. I mean, all of you that are joining, thank you very, very much. Please type in the chat box where you're dialing from, what's your name, so everybody can see that. By the way, it's part of your personal branding as well. So don't be embarrassed to share with all of us where you are, where you're joining from, in order we're all going to see that, okay? Type in the chat box your name, and I'll share everything with everybody else. See, we're speaking on, to those of you joining me now, the recipe of creating your authority positioning. And I'm happy you all joining because I think it's important for each one of us as a professional. So let's start with the first step to build your authority, okay? And step number one, I call it claim it. See, for every professional I work with, I advise this that is always the starting point of building your authority, the decision to do it. You and nobody else really should make the decision and claim your authority. Yeah, yes, you heard me right. You, because authority is claimed, not given. Authority is claimed, not given. So you need to decide and claim it. So you're probably asking, don't get me wrong, but I know what you're thinking. You're probably asking, how can I claim it, Itzik? What are you talking about? So you see, I'm not proposing here that you will fake it till you make it. Absolutely not. We talk about authenticity, real authority. I assume, because again, as I work with and mentor many lawyers and accountants and other professionals from all over the world, so I assume almost all of them, including you, have enough knowledge and expertise. Correct? So you as well can definitely be considered as an expert in something, not in everything, in something. So you need to claim that for yourself. Those little corner that you are an expert at, you need to claim it for yourself. Now, if you don't agree, it applies to you, and you don't know how to do it, just send me an email, send me a PA message, and I'll spend the time on you one-on-one, and I'll show you how you really claim it. What are your expertise? But it's out of the scope of this specific episode. But once you know your expertise, you need to claim it. Now, I trust you understand that without claiming it, without claiming your authority, nobody else will. So that has to be the starting point of building your authority. This is your specific authority that belongs only to you and to nobody else. And due to your specific background, your specific education, your specific experiences, you see, there's nobody else who have the specific exactly the same. That's why it's your authority, and you are the only one who can claim it. And furthermore, claiming the authority is only the first step in creating the authority position. So don't get me wrong, we're just in the first step. So it's not everything, but you need to take that step in order to be able to go to step number two, to be able to attract better, and maybe I should say the right clients, maybe even higher fees if you don't know your value. Okay? So are you ready for the next step? We talk about step number one. Before that, I can see people joining us. Again, if you are joining us, please put your name and where you're dialing from in the chat box so I could see that and everybody else could see so we could share it with everybody else. Well, thank you very much for joining and your interest in that important subject. See, we're speaking about the recipe of creating your authority positioning and how to do it the right way. So I'm in step number two. Step number one was claim it. Step number two is share it. See, now, when you're aware of your experience, it is time to share it with other people. Yes, as a professional, have a very clear and specific ideas about how you should practice in your practice, right? You have that clear idea, right? So why are you keeping it a secret? Why are you keeping it for yourself if you know your way you want to practice your stuff? It's time to share it. Share it with your connection. Share it with your clients. Share it with your prospects, with your partners, with your colleagues, with the public. Why do you hide it? You want to go out of this anonymity. You don't want to go out of the best kept secret of your market. You need to learn to share it. Share it with them, your unique way to practice your area of your expertise, your area of law, whatever it is, and why you're doing it that way, your way. Again, how to share it, the tools that are there. Again, send me a PM, I'll show you how to share it, but you need to claim it and then share it. Use one of the tools available for us for free in order to share it with people. It doesn't matter how. If it's a blog, it's an article, it's a video, whatever, audio, there's thousands of ways to share it as long as you share it. Yeah? So you ready for step number three? So step number three of claiming and building your authority is grow into it. So claim it, share it, and now grow into it. See, I guess part of you already start doubting yourself. When you're listening to me, I hope you didn't leave me here. You're probably saying to yourself, I do not dare to claim my authority. It's like, what are you talking about? Who am I to claim my authority? Or there are much better lawyers or better other professionals than me. How can I claim? Or me, Authority? I'm lying to myself. I mean, a lot of you have those doubts down in your head, right? Do not worry. You're not alone. Because almost any professional, any lawyer, any accountant that I helped and trained, any professional I helped to build her or his authority thinks this way. And that's very, very good. It's healthy because it starts from a humble position. Authority building, authentic authority position come from a humble position. But you need to discover yourself. Claiming your authority publicly, indeed, take confidence. And I can assure you it can be done with a few daily, simple practices. But in order to understand it more, you need to really grow into it. It doesn't come, you don't wake up one morning and say, okay, now I'm an authority. No, it doesn't work this way. It's a process you're going through, starting by claiming it. You have to share it, but you grow into it. And I hope you understand what the process, again, doesn't take years. It doesn't even take months. It doesn't take sometimes days or weeks. But it's a process that you need to grow into it, and that daily routine you could do to grow into it. Again, out of the scope of this episode, but again, if you want to know more here, send me a PM, get in one-on-one, and I can share those things with you. And that's bring me to the practical, essential ingredient of building your authority in step number 4, which is name it. Again, claim it, share it, grow into it, and now we're talking about name it. See, every authority has her or his names for very specific things they do. There are names they give to the specific services or to the specific product they deliver to their clients. And so do you. Now, you're probably asking why. Why do you need to name it? Because naming the things you do for your clients or potential clients help you to create your authority position and help you to describe the way you add value to your client and your connections. Now, not to forget the side effect of that. The side effect of that, it will also be it will be easier for you or to your clients to share it forward with other people if they know what it is, when there's a name for it. So here's some example for other industries that you probably know. For example, the Einstein relativity theory, right? He named it. Or Dr. Atkins' diet, you see? It's named on the person. Or the Six Sigma. These are all frameworks. These are all things that are named by people in order to claim to build the authority. Those of you who work with me or are members of my global professional community of the Switch know that I am naming each one of my process of services on a regular basis because I want you to understand it. So when I refer to it in my teaching, when I'm standing with you, my tribe knows exactly what I'm talking about because there's a name for it. Here's an example for my practice, the reverse referral process or the power conversation process or the authority formula. These are all things that if you're a member of the Switch community and you're part, you know exactly what I'm talking about. What about you? What about your expertise? You also need to do the same thing because by naming your services, you differentiate yourself and avoiding seeing you offering a commodity service or a product. See, it's your very specific knowledge. Now, it's a golden tip for you. When your connections start using your naming to describe what they want to accomplish in their career, in their life, in their business, you know you establish authority in the market. And that's how you get a sign from the market that the authority is really what you're building. So naming it is so important part of building your authority. Again, I'm back to you. I mean, those of you who are joining, I see a lot of you joining still. Please type your name in the chat box and tell us where you're dialing from. And of course, by the way, I should not forget, if you have any question during my short episode here on everything I'm sharing about building your authority, also use the chat box, type it in and ask it in. I will answer it during this episode. And if not, also afterward. But make sure you ask your question because the episode is for you. I'm sharing knowledge for you to help you accelerate and build your authority and stand out in a crowded marketplace. Again, your name in the chat box, where you're dialing from. And if you have a question, do the same thing. So if you're here and listening to me, it brings us to the next step of building your authority. If you're counting right, it's step number 5. And step number 5 is sell it. So we talk about all the things of positioning. Now we're in the part of selling it. So I assume that you as a lawyer or any other professional feel more comfortable with delivering your services, maybe your legal services, than selling them, right? At least I used to be like that because most lawyers, most of us do not feel comfortable with sales. Most professionals don't feel comfortable with sales. After all, we went to law school, to went to university to study to become maybe a lawyer or your other profession you're practicing, and not to be a salesperson, which is a different profession by itself. But what if I told you that if you build your authority, it would become much easier to attract clients? Since the sell process is based on selling your authority and not selling your services or being pushy or nudgy or salesy. Get it? So trust me, when you follow the authority-based selling process that I'm teaching you here, and you go step by step, your business life will be much more joyful. It'll be easier to you to do. You get to work with the right, motivated clients. Not everybody come your way. And you absolutely be able to attract them in the right moment to give value, to add value to them and help them to succeed in their business. Okay? Awesome. I see people get thumb up and liking it. I like it as well. And I think you see the structure. It's all simple steps, but they have to be in the right order in order to build the right authority, the right authentic authority that fits with you. And you cannot skip or say, okay, I don't know. Do it the same order I'm giving it to you in order to build this recipe. But we're having a very good authority cake, if you want. So that brings me to the next step of building your authority. Step number 6. We're talking about now, prove it. That's step number 6, prove it. Trying to build your authority through words is useless. I'm sure you agree. Because even as a professional with perfect communication skills, that you can hope, you can really hope, but you cannot hope to build your authority through speeches and argument alone. If you're going to build your authority in your field, whatever profession you are, you need to speak through your actions, or at the very least, have the action and history to back up whatever authority you're claiming. So we want to have proof. Everybody want to have proof, including the client, including the audience. See, working hard consistently and getting consistently good results show people that you are able to walk the talk. Demonstrating your ideas through a real example, real story, is the next step in the process of building your authority. And maybe if you want from my side, one of the main essence of it, because that's differentiate you as authentic person, authentic authority, than all the other ones claiming things they're not even doing. And you see a lot of those coaches in the market trying to teach you things, but they never did what they want to teach you. So how can they claim that authority? Ask yourself that. So you see, instead of arguing about how your process will work in theory, put it to test. Prove it instead of telling it. And that's how proving it, that's the step that you help you out, accelerate building your authority in your field. That's how you stand up faster than anybody else. Yeah, I want to welcome those of you joining me. It's not too late. We're still talking about how to build the authority. So thank you, very, very welcome. Again, if you want to type in the chat box where you're dialing from, it's not too late. Share it with us. And if you have a question, please, please, please don't hold it in your stomach. Don't be shy. Ask your question here, because I want to help you build your authority, and I'll be happy to answer your question. So we are talking about till now 6 steps, and we are now in step number 7 of building your authority, and that's called give it by. Step number 7 is give it by. You see, in my best-selling book, The Attention Switch, I argue that the first and one of the most important ingredients to build an authority is giving attention. Not getting attention, giving attention. It's not a secret that we tend to give attention to the people who showed up in our life constantly and consistently, because you cannot give your attention to everybody. So that's a choice you make, and naturally you make it to the people who really show up in your life. And you can do it too. See, that's something everybody can do because you were born with skills. But sharing value with the people who show in your life, with your tribe, your potential clients and connection, people you really care about on a consistent basis, you build your authority. And by the way, the opposite is also true. When you share valuable information, we assume you have an authority. So it goes both sides. And that's how you build authentic authority, by asking, sharing the value, giving it away to other people, not keeping it to yourself. There's many professionals I know you see are doing the opposite, keeping all the knowledge for themselves and think about that people will know it. No, it's the opposite. By sharing it, giving it on a regular basis, consistently, now you're building an authority. Now other people think and know he or she has an authority on the subject they're talking about. Yeah? Great. Awesome. And I see you joining. Thank you for joining, not leaving and sticking till the end, because I love sharing all the part. And we're on step number 8, almost at the end of the sharing, the building your authority. The step number 8 of building your authority is save it. I trust you agree that if you meet potential clients, whenever they want, you see, it does not show that you care, but actually that maybe that you're desperate. In other words, you're harming your authority position. I'm not trying to suggest that you should pretend that you're busy. Yeah, not at all. I mean, if you have not much to do, okay, I understand. But instead, learn to control your availability. Maybe by using a calendar and access to calendar. This is really the best way to protect your time and at the same time communicate that your time is valuable to you. Because if you don't respect your own time, why should other people respect it? See, this is real scarcity, not fake scarcity. Real scarcity created by using your calendar really helps you build your authority position. I know it's strange to a lot of you, but I promise you it is absolutely true. And at the same time, it will save you a lot of time. And I'll be complaining, you're busy, you have not much time. Here, I save you some time by building your authority. So you see, it's another goal you can achieve by doing it. Yeah, are you with me still? I mean, I want to hear from you. So if you have a question, please type it in the chat box. And I know you are here in the room because I can see you, so thank you for that. But again, if you have a question, type it in the chat box. And I hope everything I'm sharing with you clear. If you have anything else to share, you're also welcome to put in the chat box. And of course, if you can share who you are, where you're dialing from, it will help a lot of us to know more about you and interact later on as well with you, okay? So we talked about 8 steps till now, and I'm in step number 9 to really build authentic authority. And again, all the steps go side by side, one after another in that order, but it doesn't need to take a lot of time. So step number 9 is protected. Step number 9 is protected. Protecting your priorities. As a professional, one of your biggest obstacles for building your authority in your field, you know what it is? Is not being clear about your priorities. I notice some professionals that due to the lack of prioritization, going to commitment has really destroyed their authority position because they do so many things. Nobody knows really what is the committed to. And to remind you, one of your priorities should be building your authority. And you must protect that time, this priority, so nothing goes in the way. Because if you not dedicate this consistent time to build your authority, you will never build it. And a lot of you know it's true because you never build it. Although you know you deserve to be there, you deserve to claim it, but you never found the time. You created time to build it. Otherwise, you're not going to take any action you need to take to achieve your authority position. So that's how important it is to protect your time, to protect all the stuff in order to build your authority. And it's part of the process of building your authority because it's part of consistency that if you ask any person in the industry or other industries how they build their authority, most of them repeat that word, consistency, and consistency based on the time you dedicate to build your authority. And now in the last step of building your authority, step number 10, associated it. Step number 10 of building authority is associated. Before I give you more information, again, just before I'm ending, I want you to ask your questions now. If you have a question, type it in the chat box. We are talking about how to build your authority. What's the best way to build it? And, if you know it, great. If you're not, that's the place to listen. If you didn't listen from the beginning, you can always watch afterward the replay watch all the other 9 steps I share with you. I'm now in step number 10, associated. Jim Rohn is the one who said once, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Or put it in another way, your support system is paramount for your success. See, achieving success is much easier when you are surrounded by the right people, correct? The same true while building your authority. Learn to associate with other well-regarded authorities in your field. Not only it will accelerate your authority building, but it will also elevate your positioning in the market. It will broaden your horizons and give you better chances to be involved in bigger opportunities. Now, whether you want it or not, I know now that that's the way, that's how it works. And I promise you, you need to listen to follow those steps in order to success. Don't try to find the shortcuts. I know because I did it with thousands of professionals around the world, and we process that process one-on-one, and all those steps implemented together, and that's why a lot of them is authorities in different fields, and you see them on a daily basis where you are. And if you connect them, I'll give you some example of that. So these are the 10 essential ingredients, if you may say, to create your yummy authority cake, if you want, in order to really build it in a fast and authentic way. See, my friends, gone are the days when building an authority was only to celebrities or executive. You need to be intentional about the processes to make it your reality. Now, I know that I leave you with a lot of questions left unanswered, and I know some people answer because I talk about personal branding quite a lot, and there are tools that can build your authority. So what are the tools? We didn't talk about that. Or how come building your authority, for example, will help you accelerate getting more referrals to your practice or more clients? We didn't talk about that. Or what things you should aware of not to repeat mistake? Very good questions. Or a lot of those I can answer in the most upcoming episode. Also, my LinkedIn newsletter, if those of you reading it or subscribe to it, I recommend you doing it. Another place, but I promise you there's much more to cover. But you always, by the way, are welcome to send me a PM message, an email, and I'll be happy to help if you have urgency to answer those and you want to build your personal brand, your authority. Now, to summarize this great session, let me share with you a wonderful quote by Seth Godin, who said, people do not buy goods and services, they buy relations, stories, and magic. So now, my friend, it's time to take action and implement what you've learned in this session in order to build your authority, because nobody else will if you don't do. And I trust you got some insight on this recipe, I'm calling it, for creating your authority positioning in the marketplace. I taught you the right tools. I taught you the right order, the recipe. Now you have to implement it step by step. Again, if you need help in implementing it in your practice, or if you just want to learn how to build your authority and your personal brand and stand out in your marketplace, that's the time for it. That's exactly what we do for our client. That's exactly part of my business. And professionals like you and me around the world, we train them, we mentor them, and even doing the work with them and for them. So if that's what you want, we are able to do that to build your authority. Send me an email, send me a PM message, and I'll be happy to help to build your authority wherever you are in the world. Trust me, I work with many people, more than 80-something countries in the world. Next week, we have another amazing top expert to discuss a new practical strategy to grow your practice and build better relationship, reputation, and referral for yourself and your own business. And I hope you'll be able to join us. And if you want to make sure you never miss one of our weekly Switch On interview series, make sure you follow me on LinkedIn or go to the Switch Hub website where you can sign up and get my business development tips. And the link is on the screen now, is hub.thesuite.ch. That's where you can get my business development strategies and tips. And check and register to one of my new online courses, the live workshops coming in toward you. And you're very welcome to send me a PM again or ask me by email any question you may have, and see how can I be of value to you on your practice and your business. For now, my dear friends, I want to thank each one of you for being here, for joining us, for listening carefully. I hope you got your value out of it and you enjoy it. See you everyone next Tuesday, 6 p.m. Central European Time, 12 p.m. Eastern Time, 9 p.m. Pacific Time. And remember, it is never too late to switch on and build your authentic authority. Thanks everybody for now for joining, and see you next time. Bye for now.